In today's class, I'm going to be teaching about procrastination. And procrastination is the biggest problem that we see in time management. Procrastination simply means I will do it at a later time. I'd encourage you to have a pen and a piece of paper because as you're watching this, we want to help you break your bad habits to learn how to stop procrastinating in just 5 steps. I like to say busy was killing me. Busy was killing me is not just a saying like you're living with clutter and chaos and distractions and constant interruptions. Those are things that cause us to procrastinate. Do you feel like you're living with disorganization and a lack of focus? Those things cause us to procrastinate. And I think the piece that we miss is that procrastination leads to emotional outcomes where we feel overwhelmed and stuck, frozen, and exhausted. And I believe procrastination can lead us to that horrible feeling where we feel like we're just drifting through life, like we're on a raft in the middle of the ocean. So today, as we talk about procrastination, I want you to think about this morning. You woke up this morning. Hopefully you created a to-do list. One of the key takeaways is that time is always moving forward. We're now at a specific time in the day. We're going to get to the end of the day. And the question that I have for you is, will you have done what you said you will do today? Or have we been procrastinating? If you are procrastinating, it is likely that you feel this overwhelming, stuck, frozen, and exhausted emotional outcomes, which is one of the problems with procrastination. I have 5 learning objectives. There are 5 steps. The first one is awareness. I want to help you become aware of the problems of procrastination and some of the solutions. The second is that the 7-minute life provides simple methodology and tools. But one of the key things is learning how to prioritize and execute your task. Now, I'd like you to write something down. I'm introducing a new strategy called goal compression. You'll need to stay to the end of the class to understand the power of goal compression. I'm going to show you an image, but this is the secret to overcoming procrastination. It's a secret to it, but the final piece is that we have to develop habits, these personal disciplines. So there are 5 objectives: awareness, methodology, how to prioritize, goal compression, and being willing to create new habits. We can't just continue to do things we've always done in the past and expect our lives to change. We always are asked, why 7 minutes? There are 24 hours in the day. Time is our most valuable currency. 24 hours today. That breaks down into 1,440 minutes. All that we talk about at 7-Minute Life is what would happen in your life if you take 1% of your time. 1,440 minutes, 1% is 14 minutes. What would happen if you took 7 minutes in the morning to think and 7 minutes in the evening to reflect? Procrastination happens because we don't have a plan. We're not sure what to do, how to do it, or when to do it. We procrastinate because we haven't developed skills to overcome that. I believe the 7-Minute Life, if you will take 7 minutes to do these 5 things, to think deeply about what is it, taking those 7 minutes in the morning and really think about what you need to accomplish, to clarify those actions, to create a plan of action, to prioritize what you're going to do first, what you're going to do second, what you're going to do third. And then this is that 5th piece on creating daily disciplines, is once we've chosen those things, will we actually choose to accomplish them so that at the end of the day, they are marked off our list? I don't want to just leave you hanging on, well, what do I do with 7 minutes? I want to preface that every single thing you let into your life is automatically knocking something else out. When we procrastinate, we are typically letting in lower value actions, and we are knocking out what we call high value actions. Now, today, I don't have a chance to go through all of the morning and evening routines. But if you're trying to overcome procrastination and you were just to say, here's how I feel, this is what I want to accomplish today, being able to deal with procrastination, that awareness, when I start talking about goals that I want to accomplish and I have that awareness, procrastination begins to fall into the background because excitement and motivation begins to push me forward. We've got to have that in our work. Today is motivational. People hate procrastination. If you hate it, let's begin to move forward. And in order to do that, let's take this step by step. What projects are you working on? What's on your to-do list? How are you going to prioritize those tasks? How long will each of them take? And what are the 5 most important tasks on your to-do list that you will commit to accomplish before 11 a.m.? Being aware, setting goals for the day, looking at the projects you're working on, creating a to-do list, prioritizing those in order of importance, asking how long they'll take, and then making choices of these are the 5 most important tasks I will choose and commit to accomplish before 11 a.m. Okay, this is goal compression. Overcoming procrastination means we need a strategy. I'm going to walk you through this step by step, and your mind is going to hopefully be able to bring in new ideas and new ways of how you can personally deal with procrastination. We have a lot of people that have never heard about the 7-minute life. I was at Morgan Stanley and Merrill Lynch for 31 years. And when you're in the financial services industry or any business, if we procrastinate on things, if we don't do it today, then tomorrow we need to do what we didn't do today, plus what we need to do on the new day. And if we didn't do that, then we procrastinate, and this list of unfinished tasks begin to take us over. I've ended up writing 3 books. I've traveled all over the country. Time management and overcoming procrastination is key. Procrastination has a revenue price as well. If we don't begin to implement some kind of system, what we've done in the past is what we'll do in the future. If we don't change, we don't change. And when I started creating these habits, my business grew 62% in 1 year. Now, I was a salesperson, and so if I drove the sales, my income went up. When I began to do what I'm teaching you today, my revenue grew. Procrastination has a financial cost. But I wanted to see if I could transform that and help other people with it. And the answer is yes. By coming to these classes, it's just like going to a workshop that I would teach at a company like Morgan Stanley. This is scalable. When you begin to implement these tools that you're going to learn in this class, the average financial advisor was up 14% in revenue. Not a bad year. But the people that began to implement these skill sets and begin to stop procrastinating, their revenue more than doubled. They more than doubled the revenue growth of the actual full nationwide people. Just a little bit more history. I personally have spent more than 10,000 hours of researching and learning and training on time management, because in an hour, I hope to move you forward. I now have taught more than 700 presentation. My books, here's one of them. My books have sold more than 130,000 copies. A lot of you probably want to write a book. Procrastination is the opposite of time management. So how do you define time management? How have you tried to manage time in the past? I believe it's hard. And these are the problems that we see when we procrastinate. It's likely that we're overwhelmed. We have too much to do. We're disorganized. We're constantly interrupted, and we don't have enough time. Jim Rohn, I'm not sure how many of you have read anything. He was one of the very first people in motivation and time management and taking life seriously. And he talked about these daily disciplines, these new habits. And the beauty of 7 minutes is it's about taking 7 minutes to make small changes, tiny changes. We can't create habits all at once, but we can create tiny daily disciplines. And Jim Rohn said, there's a formula for failure. It's a few errors in judgment repeated every day. Procrastination is something we struggle with, and it causes us to not do as well as we could. But Jim Rohn went on and he said, but there's a formula. I love that. There is a system, a process, a way that we can move forward. And his concept was it's just a few simple disciplines repeated every day. If we can swap out errors and put in disciplines like taking 7 minutes to think, imagine how different your work could be. Productivity is really what I call getting to enough. Let me let you write that down. Productivity is really getting to the enough. Productivity is an agricultural term that comes from planting something in the ground and watching it produce. So what did you plant this morning? What were the ideas on your to-do list that you said at the end of the day, this would be what I would produce? These steps that I took every day would make me productive. What tasks have made you productive today? Or have we looked at those things on our to-do list and said, no, I think I'll just do that tomorrow? Getting to enough is one of those things that can change everything. We call it also the power of the check mark. I love checking things off my to-do list. And at the end of the day, when I am looking through the 7-minute process and I can ask myself, did I do what I said I would do today? That is a very powerful question. Did I do what I said I would do today? Yes, I did. Getting to enough, being productive. It is the opposite of all of that stress. When we do what we say we're going to do, we become the best of ourselves. And that's why I hope you're here. I think we work off of a lot of old assumptions. This is a very famous optical illusion. It's about 2 tiles, a top tile and a bottom tile. And as you look at this tile, for most people, they look like they're different colors. And as you look at it, for most people, the top tile seems to be the darker color. The reality is these tiles are exactly the same color. They're exactly the same color. And what makes it different is the shadowing. You know, these classes and videos and training that I teach, it's because we fall back into the shadows and we somehow think, I'm not able to do this and I can't get it done. Why can everyone else get something done when I can't get things done? It's just not true. We all have the skill sets. We have the same amount of hours. We have the same amount of opportunities. We simply need to see things different. It's our perspective that needs to change. And I love that, especially if we can take just 7 minutes to change that perspective and to overcome these shadows. It's not just about changing your perspective. It's about implementing tools. Remember, we were talking about having the methodology and the tools to execute. I don't believe, kind of like what Jim Rohn said, that we can replace errors of procrastination without having something to surround our discipline with. These are the tools, and we'll put them in the description. These are the 2 tools that can help you overcome procrastination, and they are simple. I'm going to walk you through the daily progress report today. This is a video you should watch over and over and over again. If we have a tool and we create a discipline where we take 7 minutes to think through what we're going to do, it will change our lives. Now, this is a more advanced tool, the 15-minute increment worksheet. I'll touch on it, but it is a whole nother class. So let's take a look at how I use the daily progress report. How do I use this tool, this discipline? And it's free. You can download it with the link. Now, I have changed all of the names on here, so none of these names are real. But what would happen is, today is a Tuesday, I would take that blank worksheet and I would fill in the date. And the reason that I do that is I want to take ownership of my day. You know, we feel like everybody else gets to make choices for us, and they do. We feel like all these interruptions are going to come, and they are. But I have to put a stake in the ground and say, today is my day, because I'm going to blink my eyes and today is going to pass by. Let that sink in. I'm going to blink my eyes and today will have passed by. A more frightening piece is I'm going to blink my eyes and a decade is going to pass by. So what do I want to do? I want to have daily disciplines, small, simple disciplines that can change my life for success. I physically take my phone, and I say, hey, Siri, set a timer for 7 minutes. And there you go. It sets the timer for 7 minutes. Turn that off. But then I take my phone, I lay it flat on my desk, and for 7 minutes, that's it. For 7 minutes, I close out everything else and I pay attention to what I need to do. I ask myself, what is my goal for today? And then I begin to brainstorm. On this day, you can see all the different tasks that I needed to do. Send investor documents, talk about a master class, look at and create an artificial intelligence deck. You can see that I took it out of my mind so I didn't have mental clutter, and I put it on a sheet of paper using in this case, using a pen and a piece of paper. The next step that I took was that I began to realize, okay, I'm starting my day with nothing on my to-do list. Hopefully I accomplished it all yesterday. And then the second step is, after I create my to-do list, is to prioritize those tasks in order of importance. Now, I'm peeling back the curtain and letting you look over my shoulder so you can see how I actually use this discipline. It's not like just having a calendar where you're thinking about, I don't know, appointments that you have. This is creating a deep dive plan. I've taken everything I could do that's going to lead me toward a goal. I've said this is the most important thing that I need to do. The first thing was to send updated financial statements to my teammate. Second thing is I needed to follow up on some investor documents that I needed to send out. The third thing is that we were going to press with a new print run of some of our planners. I had to make sure that I had that timeline completed. The fourth thing is that I had to prep for the weekly webinar presentation. That's something that I do now. And the masterclass sessions, I had to make sure that they were completed. I highlighted my top 5. We call that creating your 5 before 11 list. 5 before 11. After I've scheduled my 5 things as priorities, I then move them and I physically do recopy them onto my 5 before 11 list. And the reason that I use a pen and a piece of paper, taking the things you've said, these 5 things are going to help me produce the outcome I'm looking for. I'm willing to take time to rewrite them, because as I rewrite them, I'm making a commitment, a deeper and deeper commitment. When I write down, I'm going to send these, I'm going to send these, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. The power of being able to mark these off. Now, remember, I had a lot of things on my to-do list, and there's no way possible that we can get everything accomplished. But what if you could do just 5 things? What if you could say, these are the most important things? We will never, ever in any job be able to accomplish everything on our to-do list. But I want you to look at the power of small steps. If I were able to accomplish 5 high value, and that's another key thing as we're closing in on talking about goal compression. If I can focus on 5 high value actions and write them and mark them off, what would happen in just 7 days for you? Imagine accomplishing 5 high value actions for 7 days, that over the next 7 days, you would accomplish 35 high value actions. When was the last time we accomplished 35 high value actions? When I look at these things and put times on them, because remember, it's create the to-do list, prioritize them, write down how long they'll take. These are the things that I had written down as to how long they would take me. But there's another reality that I did not show. So my 5 before 11 was going to take 3 hours and 25 minutes. 8-hour workday, I could accomplish 3 hours and 25 minutes worth of tasks. But what's not on that list are the things that I had on my calendar. So I didn't really have 8 hours of time. I already had what I call things that are pre-scripted. I'd like you to write that down. A lot of my day, the time, is pre-scripted. What pre-scripted means for almost all of us is that we have staff meetings, team meetings, things that we have to go do, errands we have to run. I didn't just have 3 hours. I actually had 6 hours and 55 minutes worth of work that I needed to accomplish. And I only had 8 hours. I knew that that was going to push me. Now, we're not going to go through and talk about the 15-minute increment, but this is a way to do a reality check. That's a whole nother topic. I hope that all of this is beginning to help you, that a single sheet of paper can change your life. And this is it. I hope you'll put in the comments that it's hard to believe that a single sheet of paper could truly change your life. From procrastination to productivity. The answer is yeah, it really can. Something this simple, a single sheet of paper. Just the steps again as a reminder. First thing you're going to want to do after you download it is take ownership of your day. The next thing is to take 7 minutes, physically set a timer for 7 minutes, and begin to write down what you need to do, prioritize them, and think through how long they're going to take. And what that looks like is this. You fill out the to-do list, you prioritize them, you move into what's called the 5 before 11 list. And just because some of you are new, the 7-minute life connections, I believe that we need to stay connected to humans, being able to be intentional about staying connected, not just to prospects. I mean, if you're in sales, of course, to prospects, but also to friends, staying connected to people that you care about. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a college roommate, Maybe it's someone that's in a network that you want to be involved with or that could help you grow your business. Also on this sheet, after the connections, is unfinished task. And I use the unfinished task section primarily to keep up with errands. If I need to go to the grocery store, or I need to mail a letter or pay a bill, I put that there. It may not be high value, but I still have to get those tasks done. And then after the unfinished task section, there's a section for today I'm grateful for. What happens after you're grateful for something? There's more than that. On a single sheet of paper, if we want to be productive, simple things like we need to be hydrated. How many glasses of water are you drinking? Are you getting enough sleep? I try to get between 7 and 8 hours of sleep every night. It's something I guard. Health is very important. Are you exercising? Are you taking a few minutes to go outside and walk and reflect? And I try to read every day. If you were to read 10 pages of a book a day, if there are 30 days in the month, you would read 300 pages every month. That's a 300-page book every month. 12 books a year. That's like going back and getting extra credit in college, or just improving your own knowledge. All these tiny little things, because procrastination robs us of that. And when we can come in and say, did I do what I said I would do today? And we can mark this off, it's life-changing. And all of this happens because of a daily progress report. And even, I want you to download that, but even as you download that, part of what holds us back is that the things we put on our to-do list are not things we can do. If you put on your to-do list to shoot a video, which I've been shooting a lot of videos. When I shoot a video, it can take me up to 11 hours to shoot a 30-minute video. Well, I can't just come in on my to-do list and say, hey, shoot a video. That is not something I can do. That is a project that has to be broken down into steps that I can accomplish. And we just say break it down into things that you can accomplish in 20 minutes. What we want to put on our list are what we call micro actions. These little steps, these are the tiny changes. When we take tiny changes and we mark them off, look at this. 5 high-value actions before 11 o'clock for 7 days, 35. But the 7-minute life is not built on a day-by-day platform. Yeah, we got to plan it day by day. But one of the things that I promised you in this class is that we needed to change our behaviors. It's like we have old software running on a new platform. We can't just continue to rely on old software. In order to make those habits and to create change, why not try this for the next 90 days? Also, the seasons change every 90 days. Winter, spring, summer, fall. But when I accomplish just 5 high-value actions for 90 days, let that sink in. 450 things you did not procrastinate on accomplishing. 450 tasks that moved you forward toward producing the goals that you have wanted to do for years. I have people that I coach that say that they've had things on their to-do list for more than a year. Why? Because likely it's a project. We have things on our to-do list that we can't do. They're not actionable. We have to put those things in a secure place, but let's use our daily to-do list to write down things we can do. And that brings us full circle to the importance of, if we're going to overcome procrastination, then we need methodology, we need tools, we need disciplines. I was a stockbroker, now they call them financial advisors, for 31 years. I was in the top 11% in sales. Why? Because I developed daily disciplines. What is your job? Where do you want to be? Are you doing the things you want to do? The change can happen in an instant. It's small steps to big changes. because I can't change all at night, but I can certainly overnight, but I can certainly take 7 minutes. 24 hours in a day. Today is all we've got. I'm so glad you're watching this video. That breaks down into 1,440 minutes. Am I or am I not willing to take 1% of my time, just 14 minutes? I believe time is our most valuable currency. It is all we have. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. I'm going to invest 7 minutes in the morning to think about what I need to do. And then I'm going to take 7 minutes in the evening to look back. Did I do what I said I would do? What worked? What didn't work? What can I do better? Am I focusing on the right things? Or am I just waking up and doing the same thing with the same habits and getting the same results that I've always had? Or am I procrastinating? Am I coming in without a to-do list? Am I going to just stay that way? Or am I willing to leverage 1% of my time to do these 5 things? Think about, who am I? Who do I want to be? Clarify is not just clarifying what you're going to accomplish. It's not just about today, but it's clarifying your North Star. What's going to drive you? What's going to lead you? What's going to make your life purposeful and meaningful? Have you clarified that? Because really, until we clarify who we want to be, our day-to-day tasks aren't going to align with creating that person, that future self. Going back to planning, prioritizing, and choosing. This 7 minutes is really important. Okay, I hope you've been waiting for this. This is goal compression. I do a lot of thought exercises where I think through things of, why are things working in my life? Why are they not working? Goal compression. We have a lot of people that are 45 to 65 to 70-year-old entrepreneurs. I hope that you're younger and on this call, because I wish I had learned this way back when. And as we look at goal compression, remember, the first thing you have to do is define the goal. We have to clarify, what is it that we want to spend our time to accomplish? Now, I'm talking mainly about business now. It's probably time to go back and ask, what makes your business money? To think through, what is it that you're really selling? And if you're a manager in a company and you're not really selling something, we're really selling things, if it's leadership or direction or vision. I also want to talk about, what are the things I'm going to do for personal development? What kind of training am I going to take? What kind of books am I going to read? All of these things are goals. What revenue goals do I want to accomplish? Back up that number. If you know you need this many dollars for total annual revenues, what kind of sales do you need this quarter, this month, in the next week? How many customers are you going to need? How much are you going to have to market? These are important business things that we have to do to turn into projects that begin to be broken down into micro actions that we can then break down into to-dos, that we can say when we're going to do them, to-dos. We can come in and say, when am I going to do that? And the day that we choose, we can turn those into 5 before 11. As you look at your goal, we have to take all these things and break them down. Now, let me tell you why this is so exciting. This that you're looking at is called goal explosion. We have ideas of what we want to accomplish over the next year. We need to clarify that and make it as clear as possible. Imagine this as a path that you're going from today to 12 months from today, a clear vision, a clear path of action. Goal explosion means that we have things that have pushed away from that clear path. For example, you may have problems in your business that you're dealing with. Problems with technology, problems with inefficiencies. When you have problems, that pushes you into saying, oh, I don't really want to do that task. This task is easier. And we begin to procrastinate on things that are not driving us forward. A lot of times we're not clear on the solutions. Our solutions may be good ideas, but they may not be the actions we need to take for this year's. We may not have identified our clear target market, our ideal customer profile. If we don't know who we're selling to, then we're off track. And when we don't know these things, we end up procrastinating. Can you see how this goal explosion takes our brain and pulls it in all different directions? It's a distraction. If you work with a team and your team is not clear on defining these revenue goals or whatever it is that your goals are, if they're going in a different direction, if your systems and processes are not up to date, that slows you down. And you know that we're moving into AI. We are full force moving into AI. I believe when you can take a planner that has the daily progress report in it, a physical tool, and overlay that tool with AI, I cannot continue to rely on systems that were created 20 years ago. You know, I get excited about AI to the point that I founded another division of the 7-minute life. Do I still need to think things through? Absolutely. I also cannot rely on systems that are no longer at the cutting edge. And what if your customer acquisition is completely out of alignment with your goals? That's goal explosion. Goal explosion causes procrastination. This is goal compression. I don't believe you will have ever heard this because this is something I created. Goal compression is the opposite of procrastination. Goal compression is productivity at its highest level. Goal compression means you have clearly identified what you want to accomplish. You see your goal, your motivation is there, it drives you forward. You've got a clear path laid out in writing. You know the highest value task. You know all of these things. You know what you need to do to get there. You've thought it through. You understand the problems that your clients face, and you're driving them toward a solution. And when you provide a solution to your clients, it generates revenue. The problem is procrastination, not knowing how to prioritize those tasks. If I can bring solutions to my customers' problems, it's going to guide towards revenue. What are the problems that you're solving? Who is your ideal client? When you narrow down who you're selling to, it's going to guide you. When you're excited about knowing your ideal market, you can market to them. Remember, my market is 45, 55, 65, 70-year-olds that want to improve time management, that recognize the importance of having clear plans. Helping your team understand the roles and goals, creating new systems. AI is going to be a part of it. That train has left the station. We're going to all have to invest time and money in bringing our own knowledge up and creating client acquisition, client retention, all of these things. If you had a clear vision every day where you knew on a single sheet of paper something so simple where you could create a to-do list and you could create your 5 before 11 and you could accomplish 5 things. And over 90 days, you could do 5 things a day and accomplish 450 actions leading you towards this. That is a whole new paradigm. Shockingly simple, but it's a discipline. When I look at what I need to do, there is a value that you can place on every single action, every single task on your to-do list. As you look through your list today, there are actions that are high value. You know that they're high value. If you're in sales, it's calling prospects, it's sending out the proposals, it's making connections, networking, taking care of emails, spreading your news, doing the social media posts, getting out there. If you're in sales, it's about selling, high value. Low value actions, we all know what those are. Having an email box that's overflowing, or spending 10 minutes trying to decide what email you should send first, or not having a plan of action. Low value may be getting on social media and looking at social media rather than posting social media. And there is a scale of things that are a total waste of time. And there's a scale of things that absolutely move you forward toward productivity. There's one more step. Not only is there a scale of action, low value to high value, there's another axis that is called proficiency. In other words, when you don't know how to do something well, it is hard to do, we call that high effort. When you have a new task that you're learning how to do, it's high effort. When you become proficient, when you've had training and skill development, then it becomes easier to do no matter what the task. For example, shooting YouTube videos used to take me weeks. Now it takes 11 hours. I've become more proficient. The more proficient we become, the easier it becomes for us. I'd like you to think through that. There are all kinds of tasks, but this is where we want to be. We want to spend our time focusing on high-value tasks that produce results, where we have spent our time becoming proficient. We spent the time learning, creating templates, checklists. We've spoken with people that do these things better than we do so that we're able to do them easier. It would be interesting if I could go back over the last year and look at how much time I spent on low-value tasks. Because every minute that I spent on one of these things, remember, it was knocking something else out. It'd be interesting for me to go back and look and see how many high-value actions I took that were easy, and even, maybe more importantly, how many high-value actions I took that were hard. You know, being willing to do the hard things, there are very few people that are willing to do the hard things. Sometimes I'm like, bring it. Let me do the hard things. Goal compression, procrastination, obviously these low effort, low value things like reading social media, low effort, low value. We all know what they are. I want to focus on moving into high value where I'm skilled. The most frightening thing of all is without a plan of action, when we don't know where we're going, where we haven't taken our time, we don't have a daily progress report, we're going to end up just doing things and being busy, but not being productive. What I hope this is going to help you with is productivity does not mean getting everything done. We can't get everything done. Productivity means focusing your attention on the most important things, committing to accomplishing them and doing them today, and not saying, oh, I've got this task, but I think I'll do it tomorrow or next week, because tomorrow or next week does not come. I want to have a list and be able to mark these things off. And here's why. Because if I can begin to see traction here, it's going to pull me forward. And it also has an emotional outcome. When I'm focusing on these high-value tasks, this is what I experience. A 7-minute life is not just about getting more things done. I want my work to matter. I want to have love and passion and happiness and satisfaction in my life. And what I can be confident of is when I'm happier, mentally healthy, physically fit, it leads to all of these things. And now you have a proven system to make every minute count. So take these 5 steps that we've talked about today and start with just 7 minutes every morning. And watch how your daily productivity transforms. If you're ready to begin, make sure to download your free copy of the Daily Progress Report. It's in the description below. And if this training has helped you, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and be sure to leave your comments below. I'm Allyson Lewis, and I'll see you in our next video.